Howdy folks, TJ here. It's next news time again. Henrique has dropped a new update about the next Kickstarter, and let's read it together and see what's going on. I kind of did a quick perusal of it, and I did slap a couple of cool pictures up here on my big screen behind me so we could talk about that afterwards, because that is part of this update. So the update dropped, let's see, April 25th. So that was over the weekend, yesterday, I guess, right? Today's the 26th, so yeah. And it's titled Board Details and Testing, Games, and yeah, you guessed it. So right off the bat, he talks about the 2C board status. And what's kind of interesting is you won't see it from here, but the board actually says issue 2D. But it says 2C here, so I think Phoebos mentioned it in the next group that it is really the board 2C, but that does say 2D, so I do get a little confused. Maybe that's another one they're working on. I don't know, but let's read together. Maybe it'll explain a little bit. But it says here, for the past few weeks, we've been putting the new board through its paces, testing as many expansions, joysticks, software as possible. There are quite a few tweaks, they say, that they've done, and they're testing it, and now it outperforms the 2B board. So there's 2A, 2B, and stability, and so they're continuing testing the board, it looks like. So this whole first part is talking about the testing. It says they owe a huge thanks to Alan Albright and Tim Gilberts, and for the testing of the board nonstop. So these guys I can see pictured down, hunkered in a dungeon, being whipped, and work. But I'm sure they're probably so excited about the next that they're probably doing that by themselves, working in their home office or wherever it is diligently to get this board done in time, so we'll have our next Kickstarter issue 2 by the end of summer. So thanks guys for your hard work. Henrique is thanking them for that, and I think we all should do the same. Some of these names behind the scenes just work their asses off. So he shows a picture. Let's see. These folks are seriously amazing people. Yeah, I agree with that. And I do have Tim as a friend on Facebook, so I watch, and he's got a YouTube channel too. I've watched some of his stuff. Alan, I don't think I have as a friend on Facebook, but I think I have interfaced with him before, probably in the next group. So let's see. So they have a picture of this board, and it shows a big hand. I don't know whose hand that is. Does it say? The red wire. Cut the red wire is what they labeled it. So there are some red wires. Let's go ahead and cut them and see if it explodes. So the current 2C board is soon undergoing RF/CE certification tests in parallel to design changes. So it sounds like they're still actively changing things, but these changes are expected to not affect the noise interference performance of the board, which we all know if you own a next Kickstarter one, there is a little bit of a troubling noise that you have to turn off. Well, I don't get it in HDMI that I remember, but I have external speakers, and yeah, I get crackles and pops, and that is annoying. So I'm hoping that this next Kickstarter 2 takes care of that, because I don't want to have to turn that off. So it looks like they're continuing to work on that. Let's see, the next step is the final design manufactured at a dozen boards. So it looks like once they finalize these few tweaks, they're going to make about a dozen boards, check them thoroughly, and move into production at scale, so we can get them in time for summer. I'm hoping a little bit before that. Wouldn't it be awesome if they hit like July or something before August, which I think is the original date? Someplace in middle summer would be really cool. So let's see. Lastly, they want to thank Phil Candy from Dickinson Associates. We all know who Rick is, and most everybody knows who Phil Candy is. That's where this other picture is. So I'm calling it the albino board because it is very white. So I'm guessing that is some type of... Is that a real board, or is that a render on a computer of little changes? You see these red lines, and so there's little minuscule changes that they're making to move this little thing a little bit this way, a little bit that way, to make the board a better fit than what is even in the Kickstarter 1. And so they have 3 pictures, it looks like, that kind of show these little micro adjustments, 1 millimeter, to make things better. So very, very cool that they continue to refine this next number 2 board. So that was that. So that looks like it was the main guts of, yep, they're working on the board, either 2C or 2D. So that didn't say what's going on, but this does say issue 2D. So anyway, take it for what it is. Probably in the Facebook group, I'll read later what exactly, if it's really a C board that we're going to get. Is it going to be a D board? Either way, it's an improved board, so that's cool. Next, they talk about software. Next ZX DB Search and Downloader. They have a video link to David Safier's, and I made a video about me trying this program for the first time, where our internet is becoming a normal thing for our Next. We're becoming a little independent from having to use my Linux computer or my Mac computer there to download a game of the week for my Sinclair Society Facebook group or whatever. So now this program, and it's in fairly early, it's labeled 0.15. So you know we need to get that number 1 to become an official, fairly bug-free program. In my quick test in the video I did, it worked pretty well. I only remember where I typed in a keyword a number of times and it brought up nothing, and then I typed in the same exact thing a little bit later and it brought up stuff. Something about possibly the speed of the SD card that's used. The one that I'm using is the original Next card, and I think I saw some posts about, well, you need to really get even a faster card than a Class 10 card to maybe alleviate that problem. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, there is speed factor involved on the card, at least as of this 0.15 version. So they recommend, I think, at least a Class 10 SD card, and I don't know if our Next card that came with Next Kickstarter 1 is that. I don't think it is. I think I saw some post that it's not, so that could have been my problem. So maybe at some I've got twisted tongues. I'll maybe make a new install. Maybe the next update that comes out, because I'm still on the one that came with my Next, which is now, basically a year old. So maybe when that comes out, I'll make a new SD card. I'll get the better, faster card from Amazon or something and try this program again. But it works well enough for me now, and it's up to version 0.15. So great application. It makes us a little bit more independent from having to do stuff on our other outside computers. So very cool. So there's a nice write-up about that. Internet Explorer is up to 0.3. I also did a video on that, and that was a wonderful Gopher type of program, which again makes us a little bit more independent from having to do as much on our normal computers. You can actually access the internet. This specifically at the time was in Gopher type of mode, where you can access, this is kind of pre-World Wide Web, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. You can access the internet and actually download stuff and be part of these little Gopher sites. So that is up to version 0.3, and I need to update that because I think on here it also adds simple www site as well. So it looks like they've added that capability. So before, I think it was strictly a Gopher site, but now it's adding www sites as well. So interesting. I'll have to try that out. Updated version. So check that out. Has a link to the site. Next up, Code Along with Baggers. Jim Bagley continues to make, it seems like every other week now, videos on his YouTube channel for coding. And since my internet sucks, I can't participate in those. But I did have a friend did download some and mail them to me, and on an SD card. So I think I have up to part 10 maybe on an SD card or a USB stick, which I can start watching whenever I find the time, because I make like a video every other day. So finding the time to sit and code, plus I finalized my own game this last month, Invasion of the Cloud People, The Next Storm, that 3/4 done version. So yeah, I've been a busy boy. Plus I do have to work for a living, and I do stuff outside of retro computers. I work on old Volkswagens. So yeah, I've been really busy, but I want to one day watch some of these videos. So a link to Jim's videos. Lots of games. So I'll just rifle through these because you probably don't want me to bore you with all the nitty-gritty. You can read it for yourself. But the Game Book Adventure Reader, I have not heard of that. So it talks about this Gamebook Adventure Reader application you can snag. So check that out. Up is a basic game. I have not downloaded this yet. I need to download it and check it out. So there's a new game in Next Basic called Up. Well, it says basic game. It doesn't say Next Basic. I made that boo-boo before where I said, oh, this game isn't in Net Basic. But there's other basics for Next. There's Next Basic, Boreal Basic. I kind of start getting lost beyond. I only code directly on my Next. So that's the only basic I know is Next Basic. But there's other ones. So I don't know if this talks about what version of basic it is. But either way, it's a Next Basic program. No, it's a basic program. There we go. Whew. Okay, next up is Dream World Pogi Demo 1.0 is out. I did make a video on that. Wonderful sound, fun gameplay. I look forward to when we get the official full, not demo version. So that game is out. P.a.n.t.s. This is the first time I've heard of this. I saw a picture of it this last week. P.A.n.t.s. P.a.n.t.s is a game. It looks like soldiers are busy working at P.a.n.t.s, a humorous game where you take control of cleaning robots, Mop and Bucky, to explore and clean up abandoned and run-down extraterrestrial planetary, bloat them, and find out what happened to the humans can safely return. So this game looks like one of those, I don't know the proper name for it, but it's kind of 3D, where you travel through this little land 3D type of game, but it's in that tilted aspect. What the hell is that called? I won't remember until I stop recording this video, so I'm sure somebody will post up. Trapezoidal? What the hell's the name? Anyway, it looks like a fun game. The characters look really cartoony, so that looks really fun. I look forward to trying that, and I'll probably have to make a video about it too. And The Way of the Exploding Fist, that is a game that's, again, new updates from the Wasp team. So this update talks about that. Looks really awesome, and I love Kung Fu and Karate, so I think that game will be quite fun. Quite a few pictures on the next update about this. Even a video it looks like you can play and watch. And then it says at the end, so that was it. See you next update, pun intended. So, very cool update. Hopefully next time around, I'm hoping the next update, I want to learn more about the cover. My room is dusty. Dust all around here. So I can't wait to get an official Next dust cover for my Next. I'm going to order 2 once they become for sale. So hopefully, maybe they have more information about that. Since the next update, I'm guessing, won't come until maybe the end of May, which means that we'll be almost summertime. So awesome update, cool pictures, and yeah, check out the update. One thing I found out by reading is for folks that purchased the Next number 2 directly through the Next site and not the Next Kickstarter, because there was a short time after the Kickstarter, they did sell some extra boards, or I should say Nexts, that they can't see since they don't have an account for this, the updates. So vicariously, hopefully my video helps a little bit in that respect, explaining what's going on, but ultimately people, I think, have posted some of the pictures from it so everybody can see it. That would be a nice thing for the team at Next to also do, just in case those that bought it directly can learn about these updates, which is a very fun part of building up until summer, when hopefully we start getting ship dates and all that fun stuff. So anyway, great update. Thanks, Henrique and Team Next, and have a wonderful... Next time I talk to you, it will be still spring, but it will be getting near summertime, where it's going to be hot and sticky and rattlesnakes out and all that stuff. We get rattlesnakes here. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.